I've been following Prehistoric Kingdom for quite a while, especially since my disappointment with the recent release of Jurassic World Evolution 2. And after years of waiting, it's now finally out in Steam Early Access. Ever since Dinosaur Digs from the original Zoo Tycoon, I've been itching for a truly great dinosaur management game. One that brings the depth and quality of games like City Skylines and Planet Coaster, while combining it with the big scaly lizards I've loved for so long. So is Prehistoric Kingdom that game, or is it just another big talking, doomed to fail Kickstarter project? Watch on to find out. And a quick disclaimer, I was provided a review code by Blue Meridian and Crytivo for this review. As its name implies, in Prehistoric Kingdom you'll be creating a fantastical zoo full of creatures to wow guests and hoover money from their wallets. It's a tycoon management game after all, like Zoo Tycoon or Planet Coaster, but instead of cultivating a park of familiar animals or thrill rides, it's dinosaurs and other extinct species that are going to fill your fences. As mentioned, this release isn't the full 1.0 version, it's early access, which if you don't know means that the game is not done, it's in development, with a lot of things still to come down the road. That means that animal selection is a lot smaller than it will be on launch. There are mechanics that are straight up not implemented. There are bugs and a lot of missing features. Simply put, the game isn't finished. And if you're buying into an early access game, you need to be okay with that. To avoid getting a bad taste in your mouth, I find it's best to think of it like you're supporting the development of the game, and what you get to play is extra. But that's not to say what's here currently isn't enjoyable, and that there isn't a hearty chunk of game here for those who the genre caters to, because there absolutely is. And with a publicly available Trello board showing what's on the horizon, the stream of content will hopefully be enough to satisfy up to and beyond the 1.0 release. So with all that being said, what's available to play today, and is it any good? Well, there's not a lot, but also there's quite a lot. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but hear me out, you'll understand. To start, there's all the park builder stuff that you've come to expect from games in the genre. Trolling through management windows, increasing customer happiness, managing your product, in this case the animals, and building an awesome park that increases your foot traffic to earn you more money, to improve your park, to increase your foot traffic, to earn you more money, etc, etc. Currently, there are 3 game modes, with more to be added later, those being Sandbox, Challenge, and Tycoon. They're not too dissimilar to one another, with the main differences being whether you have all the animals unlocked to begin with, and if you're going to be constrained by pesky things like money and approval ratings. There are 21 animals currently available, with a couple more coming with the early access release. There's 3 maps, and there's a bunch of buildings and decoratory items ranging from park infrastructure like fences and paths to food stalls, gift shops, solar panels, rubbish bins, signs, statues, lights, you get the idea. The game's tutorials are weak at this stage, so once you've chosen your map and your mode, you're thrown out into the wild to build and grow your park as you see fit. If you aren't playing Sandbox, then you'll need to unlock new animals through a fossil excavation system, kinda like what's in Jurassic World Evolution, but in the game right now the mechanic is pretty simple and it's just a pay money to unlock dinosaur situation. And I mean, from there, everything else is really what you make it. Again, it's a park builder, but it's one without any real goals or objectives, aside from maybe getting your park to 5 stars. So your fun will depend on how much enjoyment you get out of putting all this stuff together, and making something that you can really be proud of. To help alleviate the lack of direction, Prehistoric Kingdom, thankfully, brings some deep and fleshed out mechanics to its early access release that can legitimately provide hours upon hours of fun if you let it. While yes, there's no guest interaction yet, and animal wants and desires unlimited, what's impressive are the terrain and building systems, and these might be the best of their type in any park builder I've played. The systems here for terraforming and styling your exhibits with trees, rocks, and different terrain types are vast, and more importantly, easy to use, even for someone like me, who's not very good at park builders. Planting massive forests of trees, shrubs, or grasses can be done in a flash, and doing that after you've laid some water, carved out some hills and valleys, added some sand, mud, or dirt, makes it incredibly easy to make something that looks halfway decent, and downright fantastic if you put some time into it. It's a similar story for building. There's full modularity built into every structure. Everything is made from pieces that are available to the player, so that means you can not only edit any building in the game and change it to how you like, but you can also create any building that you can think of and add modules to it to serve that function in your park, like serving food or providing power. Or they can be purely decorative. This system is incredibly deep, and I promise you that people are going to make some crazy things with it. Eventually there's going to be Steam Workshop integration too, so I think the player-driven content side of this game is going to be massive. Visually, Prehistoric Kingdom looks complete. Considering the development scope, there are no serious issues that I have with the game visually. Everything looks fantastic, particularly the environments and the animals themselves. For the former, using the terraforming tools allows for some seriously impressive looking landscapes to be created. And while the 3 maps available all kind of look the same to begin with, after you've toyed around with placing trees, watering holes, and different surfaces for a few hours, every park will come into its own. And once that evening light hits, you may just be left in awe with what you've created. It looks really great. Especially if you're good at making parks. Not like me, I suck. And for the animals, man, they are something. The only gripe I have is with some of the finer details, with like hair and fur looking a bit strange. But besides that, they honestly rival what's in Jurassic World Evolution. And that's made by a much bigger studio and is backed by the titular franchise. While the animation is still limited thanks to the lack of behavioural mechanics, hopefully that'll be improved down the line, the modelling and texture work is really great, especially considering the improvements made over the game's initial trailers. The comparison here is just insane. It's an incredibly stark contrast to what they advertised then versus what you can play now. And all of this is done while maintaining a solid frame rate, exhibiting great performance, and not crashing for me once, despite being an early access game. Bravo, Blue Meridian. You've successfully done better than most early access games out there. Great work. Prehistoric Kingdom has great bones, no pun intended. While there are quite a few key features missing, systems to be developed and content to be added, that's to be expected from an early access release. If you don't want to accept those compromises to play the game now, that's okay, just wait till version 1 and hopefully all that will be ironed out by then. But if you're a fan of park builders and are interested into diving in now, I think you'll be a big fan of Prehistoric Kingdom. There's just so much modularity and customization available for the visual style of your park that you could spend tens, hundreds of hours even, making something truly unique. And that's going to be value enough for a lot of people. Plus the subject matter is always a strong selling point for those who resonate with it, like me. I mean, Nigel Marvin provides voiceovers, and if you know who he is, that's maybe all you'll need to be convinced. And the game is only going to get deeper and more fleshed out as time goes on, with updates bringing fresh content and mechanics on the regular. Again, check out that trailer page for more information on that. You can pick up Prehistoric Kingdom on Steam right now for $30 US. Just remember, it's in early access, so make sure you're happy with the concessions you have to make when buying a game that's in development. If you are, I think you're in for a great time. Thanks very much for watching. If you like what I do here, consider supporting me on Patreon or via YouTube memberships. I've recently added a $1 tier that provides access to my new Discord, which has just been relaunched, so if you want to support my work and also hang out over there, then that's how to do it. You'll join legends like T-Edits, Crispy Robo Chicken, Jack Walsh, Nutty Jawa, Overlord Jebus, Crizzy218, Dakayo, David DeBolye, and Standby for Systems Nominal, who supports me at the Paladin tier. Thanks very much. Right, thanks again everyone, and I will see you all next time.